And
No, no.
Vinoba Bhave also calls this chapter as Program Yoga. You must have heard about Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raj Yoga. Gita has Samatva Yoga, Anasakti Yoga, Abhyasa Yoga. Different types of yogas are there. But Vinoba Bhave calls this chapter specifically as Program Yoga. Whole chapter. Because it has so many practical programs, practical tips that a sadhak can apply, and it is really a program of self-development. Many people want to know that how to apply Gita, how to learn the Gita and live the Gita. Take this 17th chapter, straight away you can apply. It speaks about faith, and then it also speaks about three types of faith, sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Then three types of ahar, food. Three types of yajna, three types of dan, three types of tapa. So, this is a very practical chapter. And it is also very holistic. Body, mind, intellect, and spirit. Everything is covered beautifully in this chapter. So, why is this chapter called Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga? So, Shraddha is faith. And again, some words like dharma, Shraddha, English translations are not adequate to convey the depth of the meaning. So, when we say faith, then people start thinking of religious faith. And then faith versus science, faith versus reason, because they think faith is blind, faith is superstition, faith is only in something which is not provable, where logic doesn't apply. But the word Shraddha is very important. It is not an emotional quality. Shraddha is an intellectual quality. Gurudev always said, belief reinforced with conviction is faith. Whenever belief in something which I cannot perceive, faith is required for that which is not perceptible. If something can be perceptible by the senses, I don't require faith. If something can be felt by emotions, I don't require faith. Something can be experienced by thoughts, I don't require faith, because that is in the realm of experience. But what is beyond the realm of experience, beyond perceptions, feelings and thoughts, the existence of that logically can be definitely be proved. So in the beginning, I have a belief that there is an existence of such a truth. And so through logic, through experience of great masters, through my own experiences in certain states, when I get a firm conviction that yes, there is a true state of mind which is consciousness, which is beyond BMI, but which is my Swarupa, then that belief has become faith. And that faith will help me to pursue that state, and that will lead to knowledge. Fourth chapter, Bhagavan said, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. The one who has faith will attain knowledge. So faith is very important. In day-to-day life also, see, faith is definitely required for a sadhak, especially one who is seeking the the answer to that most important question, who am I? And to realize one's nature as consciousness, Shraddha is required, no doubt. But Shraddha is required in Ishvara even for our day-to-day life. Why we go through what we go through, we don't know. Because Bhagavan is the karma phala data. He gives results as per the karmas of the jiva. Jiva doesn't remember which karma, what jiva has done in which life, but the result is coming. To accept life as it comes also, I need faith that there is a higher intelligence which has the best intent in mind for me, and whatever I am going through, Bhagavan knows the best, and nothing will happen which is unjust. That requires Shraddha. Especially when difficult times come, then the faith gives the strength to a person. And if one doesn't have faith, then one gets shattered. One even loses belief in Bhagavan. Many things can happen. So Shraddha is required to face the challenges of life. Shraddha is required to have courage and strength to deal with difficult times. Shraddha is also required to understand that it is not just in the higher that we have Shraddha. No doubt it is, Shraddha is used for that which is not perceptible. But in a very transactional level, we also have faith, though the word faith there is used in a limited context, in many people and things. One has to have faith that the driver who is driving my vehicle will take me to the destination and will not land up in some accident. One has to have faith in the barber who is doing the shaving, that he will not slit my throat. The cook who is making the food, that he will not add some poison. So one has to have, if Shraddha is not there, one will keep suspecting everything. Trust will not be there. And again, I am not saying trust blindly, trust anybody. Where one has to exercise caution, one has to. But what I am saying is Shraddha is required even in our day-to-day life. To be secure, Shraddha is required. To feel grounded, rooted, Shraddha is required. And everybody has Shraddha. In fact, Bhagavan goes on to say that a man is what his faith is. Yo yat Shraddha sa eva saha. Shraddha is not just in the Supreme. People have Shraddha in their own senses. What the senses are showing is true. They have Shraddha in their own thinking and logic, that their logic is correct. They have Shraddha in science also. They have Shraddha in the natural laws, that the cosmic laws are functioning properly. Some people have Shraddha in power, money, position, people. Each one's Shraddha is different, but everybody has Shraddha. There is nobody who doesn't have any Shraddha. Because the word Shraddha also means what? So one definition we saw, Gurudev said, belief reinforced with conviction is faith. And second, Shraddha means the intellectual capacity to know the truth. Shrat dhatte iti Shraddha. When the intellect has this quality, I will be able to understand and know the subtle truths of life. I will be able to accept also the subtle aspects of life. So Shraddha in the Shastra, Shraddha in the Guru, Shraddha in Ishvara, Shraddha in oneself are all the types of Shraddha that we require. And so everybody has faith. What we have to understand is what is the quality of my faith. So this chapter begins with a question of Arjuna. Where is my faith and what is the quality of my faith is a question that we have to ask ourselves. Everybody has faith. There is nobody who has no faith. Even a small child has a faith in the parents that my mother is there, she will take care of me. So, what is the quality of Shraddha? That determines my value system, my vision of life, everything. If my Shraddha, if my faith is money is most important in life, that is my conviction and I have faith in that belief. If money is most important, everything else is secondary. Then my whole value system will be driven by that faith. My vision will be driven by that faith, my values, my desires, thoughts, actions, results I get, everything will be driven by that faith. If my faith is that I am not this body, then my lifestyle will be governed by that. If my faith is selflessness is the way to live life. Somebody may say, then what is the difference between faith and conviction? A reinforced conviction in something subtle is what we call as faith in this simple context. Generally, people don't believe in selflessness. They think selfishness is the way to live. But if I have faith in the subtler that no, selflessness is the right way to live, then that is called conviction which has been reinforced, which is Shraddha. Belief reinforced with conviction is faith. That's what Gurudev said. And when I have that quality in the buddhi, then I will see the impact of that conviction. And that's why second definition Gurudev gave is, faith is to believe what you don't see, the result of which is you will see what you believed in. Faith is to believe what you don't see. I see everybody around me selfish, but I have Shraddha because the Shastra is saying, because the great masters have lived, selflessness is the way to live. Now I live by that and I start living selflessly. Then what was not visible to me will become manifest. So faith is to believe what I don't see. And the result of it is you will see what you believed in. You will see the power of selflessness, how it brings joy and happiness, purification of mind, intuitive insights. So, Shraddha is a very, very important aspect, and in fact that is the fuel on the spiritual path is Shraddha. If one lacks Shraddha, then one is like on an emergency, on reserve. One has to fuel it immediately. Otherwise the vehicle will stop, the spiritual progress will stop. And if somebody dismisses higher sources of faith and tries to say that only what is visible is truth, that can't take us far. Because what is visible is one is illusory, and second it is very minimal, and it is continuously changing. That there is a changeless truth, that there is a infinite reality, that requires Shraddha. And it's not some blind Shraddha, it is proper logic based. And that's why faith and questioning go hand in hand. The more questions I ask for getting clarity and conviction, the more my faith will become stronger. And the more faith I have, I will start pursuing the higher state. And questions will slowly recede because I will see the impact of that faith. I will get my answers. So it's not that if somebody is questioning, they don't have faith, that they are agnostic or they have to be condemned. One needs faith, very important aspect. I must have said this in many other chapters also earlier, but since the topic here is threefold faith, even in the world of manifesting nowadays, what people say manifestation or the law of attraction, you have to have faith in that law. You need to have faith that you have already achieved it and visualize it. Then the mind will feel it, then you will reach it. So faith is a very unavoidable aspect of life. And there is nothing lesser about it. In fact, there is only greater. Belief and faith. What is the difference? We will see a small video of Gurudev. Beautifully he explains this.
Every one of you, including the ages here, certainly has got belief. There is no human being who has not got a belief in some supreme intelligence. Every phenomena in this universe is implicitly following its laws. Never ever can you find fire cold, ice hot. Okay? Belief is in everyone. But none of us have got faith. Very few have got faith. Belief is emotion. Everybody has got it. And this emotional belief will not stand by you when 4, 5 tragedies come one after another. Your belief oozes out. Then you go to your prayer room and stand there, not with folded hands as usual, but this time with the hands on the hip. Krishna, hey Krishna, is this what you are going to do to me? Have I not prayed to you every day before I go to the office and do my trick? Have I not done? Have I not given you every day milk in the smallest thimble available in this house? Have I not offered butter to you in tulasi leaf? Have I not myself used both that milk as well as the butter as prasadam every breakfast? Have I not made you in silver? And yet, this is what you have done. You could not protect me from these tragedies. 4, 5 tragedies. You get so angry. You take the idol and, if possible, throw it through the window. After a week, the doctor has returned back from hospital. The doctor said that emergency operation is not necessary. When a second opinion was taken, it was not necessary. The child's leg was not broken, but it was only painful. That's all. He is all right. The child has started running about. Husband has come back. It is not that the backbone is broken, but it's only that he has got a pain in the muscular pain. Your partner said, I have changed my mind. I'm not going. Everything became all right. Your mind has become calm and cool. Then you start feeling, I should not have thrown away Krishna. So you yourself go there. Pick him from the garbage. And with your own tears, you clean it. Krishna, what can I do? I am a mortal. I am an ordinary mortal. When so many sorrows came, back again. Next day onwards, milk and butter starts. This is natural. Belief breaks up. When many tragedies come together. And in this world, everybody should expect sorrows and tragedies to come to us. It's a mixture of joy and sorrow is this world. When it hits you, your belief goes away. And when it is all right, then the belief comes back. Lord, I am very sorry. You are a merciful one. You forgive. I know you will forgive me. Right? Faith is not belief. When the belief in you is reinforced with intellectual understanding of the nature of reality, then the belief becomes faith. Faith that moves mountains. The more the world hits you, the more you hold on to your faith.
Such a beautiful video. How Gurudev explained, belief is emotional and tragedies of the world when they hit us, beliefs can break, but faith is the reinforced understanding. And that reinforced understanding is what requires satsang, reflection, reading the lives of great Mahatmas. The Shraddha has to become very strong. Then how many ever difficulties come, every difficulty will become a means to strengthen more and more of my faith. So, this chapter, that's why it's called Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga. 3 types of faith. It begins with the question of Arjun because in the 16th chapter, Bhagwan ended with a caution, with a warning actually, where he said that those who don't follow the path of the Shastra and behave licentiously, ye Shastra vidhim utsrijya. When such people, when they believe in their own whims and fancies, their own ideas and, thought patterns, ye Shastra vidhim utsrijya vartate kamakarataha. They act out of their own impulsiveness, selfishness. Na sa siddhim avapnoti, na sukham na paramgati. They don't attain siddhi, success, nor happiness, nor supreme state of realization. So that was what he said in the 23rd verse. And he said that's why one should study the scripture. Now the question that Arjun is having is this, that there are 4 types of people. Those who know the scriptures and those who are following the scriptures. No problem for them. They are living the scriptural way of life and they will continue and they will attain siddhi and they will attain paramgatim also. 4th type of person is who neither know the scriptures, is not following the scriptures, living a demonic type of life. And Bhagwan said about that person also that that person goes to, Bhagwan puts that person in the hell to go through their karma phalas and then again continue the journey and come on the path of dharma. These 2 people are taken care of, that Bhagwan said in the previous chapter itself. Now the other 2 categories of people. One, those who know the scriptures but they are still compromising. Some wantonly compromising, then Bhagwan called them as hypocrites. In the 3rd chapter he called them hypocrites. Those who are knowing the scriptures but are compelled by their own vasanas, they are trying but they are still not able to live. Those are the sadhaks who are struggling. And Bhagwan helps those sadhaks to come to the path of dharma. Now remains one person. That this one person doesn't know the scripture, but is acting out of Shraddha. He is doing worship, he is doing yajna, japa, tapa, upvas, whatever, but doesn't know the Shastra at all, is not following as per the Shastra. Now Arjun wants to know what will happen to this person. So that's how this begins, because this is the category majority falls in. That we don't know the scriptures, yet one is following certain traditions, customs, festivals, because one has heard, one has been told, or because it has been passed down in the family. One is doing it, but one doesn't know the scriptural method, one doesn't know the vidhi properly, one doesn't know how to do it exactly, but they are doing it with bhav. So what happens to such people? So that's the question with which this chapter begins. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. अथ सप्तदशोऽध्यायः अर्जुन उवाच ये शास्त्रविधिमुत्सृज्य यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेषां निष्ठा तु का कृष्ण सत्त्वमाहो रजस्तमः. So Arjuna has asked this question. ये शास्त्र विधिम उत्सृज्य, they have abandoned the scriptural method. Abandoned meaning they have not bothered to find out. Ye shastra vidhim utsrujya. They are not inquiring, they are not trying to put in the efforts to find out how to do actually. Even simple things like japa, how to do japa, how to do puja, how to do an upvas, ekadashi vrat, how to do, pradosha vrat, when to do, how to do, or any of these. Even celebration of festivals. So many festivals we are celebrating today, we have forgotten the scriptural basis only. And everything we want to try and bring it down to the physical level. That fasting is to detoxify the body. Fasting has nothing to do with detoxifying the body. That's a tertiary benefit of fasting. Upvas literally is to think of Bhagavan, to let the prana shakti go upwards, to prepare the body to worship Bhagavan on Dwadashi day after having prepared oneself on Ekadashi. But where does one know all that? And not only one doesn't know, but one is doing it also with sometimes opposite intent. Meaning, so much of focus on what food and which type of food and which shira and which type of puri and what type of halwa one will eat. What is the point? So Arjuna is asking, Ye shastra vidhim utsrujya. They have not bothered to find out. Now if somebody says, but I was not exposed to it, don't give that excuse. Today there is enough and more knowledge available. If you want to find out, it's just a matter of little intent and you can immediately find out, and authentic sources also are available today. So, ye shastra vidhim utsrujya yajante, but they are worshipping. They are doing sadhana, or they are doing, sincerely following certain rituals. They may not know the significance, they may not know the process, they may not know the proper chanting, but Shraddhaya anvitaha. With great faith they are doing. Why? From where did their faith come? They saw somebody doing, let us say, Mahalakshmi Vrat. Friday you worship Mother Lakshmi and you become rich. Now they start doing. Santoshi Mata Vrat. Scripture is not mentioning anything about Santoshi Mata anywhere. But people have started. Santoshi Mata Vrat. Why? Because we are seeing some people doing, then they are getting some benefit. Now I will also do. Or somebody has told them. Or, some family tradition it is. So somehow they are doing a ritual. Either by compulsion or by inspiration within or by looking at somebody and getting motivated for some material benefit. They are doing, they have some bhav and they are doing. So Arjuna is asking, Tesham nishtha tu ka Krishna. What is their fate? And he says, Sattvamaho Rajastamaha. Would you call it Sattvic, Rajasic or Tamasic? Meaning, will they get sattvic result, rajasic result or tamasic result? Now, please understand this question is not to justify ignorance of the scripture and to say, because many people say that after all, Bhagavan wants just the bhav, how does it matter how you chant, what you offer? It's all nothing, doesn't matter. Just Bhagavan to bhav ke bhukhe hai. That same Bhagavan has revealed the Shastra. And that same Bhagavan is also telling us to read the Shastra. And that same Bhagavan sitting inside is telling us also, do like this, don't do like this. But we don't want to listen to any of that. And just under the garb of devotion, do anything that we want. That is not what a sadhak will do. A sadhak will put in their effort to find out what pleases my Lord, I will do that. The entire Veda is Bhagavan's Swarupa. So if I have to chant a Vedic mantra, I should learn the Vedic way of chanting it and then use it in my sadhana. I can't say, no, Vedic chanting doesn't matter. I will not learn how to say Om Namah Shivaya in Vedic way, Gayatri mantra in Vedic way, Mrityunjay mantra in Vedic way. I will chant as per my whatever I have learned. And I will sing in a musical way only. Questions I will take at the end, so you can reserve them. So if somebody says like that I like this tune, Om Bhuvasvaha Tat Savitur Varenyam. You like that tune, you do. But there's a Vedic way of chanting Gayatri mantra. One has to chant that properly. If one wants to propitiate Bhagavan, no doubt, again I am saying that Bhagavan will accept the bhav, no doubt. But that same Bhagavan has revealed the knowledge of the Veda also. And that same Bhagavan is also providing us opportunity to learn. Now if I am resisting it in the garb of being devoted and I don't want to learn, then Bhagavan doesn't think that is appropriate. Anyway, it will come, ahead it will come. So Arjuna is asking that question. Ye shastra vidhim utsrujya yajante shraddhayanvitaha. Esham nishtha ka Krishna. Those who are following the scriptures, they have studied the scripture, they are following the scripture, they will attain the supreme. Their condition is known. Those who are not at all knowing, not even following, their condition is also known. Those who are knowing and yet struggling to follow, Bhagavan helps them out. They are putting in the effort and Bhagavan pushes them, helps them, and they will also reach. What about this person who doesn't know the scripture, has bhavana and is worshipping? Now what happens to them? So instead of Bhagavan saying they will get or they will not get, Bhagavan says it depends on their shraddha. What is the nature of their shraddha? Bhagavan gives that answer. So he doesn't directly say, yes, that is approved. You can do whatever ritual you like without having scriptural study or knowledge. As long as you have bhavana, that is enough for me. No. Bhagavan says it all depends on the shraddha of that person. And as the shraddha of that person is, so is the nature of that person, so will be the action and so will be the result. That we should not forget. The result is not same. Person who is having Rajasic Shraddha and Tamasic Shraddha will not get the same result as one who is having Sattvic Shraddha. And Sattvic Shraddha is born from scriptural knowledge and satsang. So the result is not going to be the same. Don't think that everybody will get the same result. No. Law of karma works. And Krishna Bhagavan doesn't have to discriminate. Then, if everybody's Shraddha would have given them the same result, then Bhagavan would not have to have the whole chapter saying the three types of Shraddha, Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. So in Prakriti, there are three gunas. And the result of the three gunas also is different. We saw that in 14th chapter. Now the result of the three types of faith is also different. One was Sattvic faith, Rajasic faith, Tamasic faith. So this question of Arjun doesn't have a simple black and white answer. Bhagavan says it all depends. I think people have taken it depends from the Gita only because Bhagavan keeps answering like that. It depends. Depends on what? In this context, it depends on Shraddha. Earlier also when Arjuna asked in the 12th chapter, which is greater, form worship or formless worship? Bhagavan said it depends. And he gave 3 reasons there also. Maya vesha mano yemam nitya yukta upasate shraddhaya prayopeta teme yukta tamamata. He said depends on these 3 factors. If these 3 are there in the form, then that is the best for you. If these 3 are there in the formless, then that is the best for you. If there can't be one answer for everybody saying form only is the best or formless only is the best. It can't work like that. Same way here also, he doesn't say that, okay, if you don't know the scripture, chalega, you do, your Shraddha is more important to me. No, he says depends on what is the quality of your Shraddha. You know, once, I would have told this long back, just repeating it again. You know, Uttar Kashi, Puja Gurudev got sannyas from Swami Shivanandaji Maharaj and then he went to Uttar Kashi and he was studying under Taponji Maharaj. And Uttar Kashi, Taponji Maharaj himself is a very great disciplinarian and very strict master. And there are so many other sadhus who are studying sannyasis, who are doing tapasya and all that. So Gurudev used to observe that there was this one man who every day he will go and stand in the Gangaji from early morning up to midday, 12 noon, in that cold water of Gangaji, standing there facing the sun. And he's praying. And Gurudev looked at him and he saw day after day after day, this man is doing what level of tapasya, you know. So he got little disturbed. And he went to Taponji Maharaj and he said, Maharaj, I am leaving. So Taponji said, why? What happened to you? He said, I cannot do such tapasya. Look at these people, what tapasya they are doing. He's standing from morning till afternoon in the Gangaji and praying to the sun. I don't have those capacities. I don't think I will survive here. Taponji Maharaj said, you do one thing, you ask him tomorrow what is he praying for. So the next day he went. And when this man came out in the afternoon, Gurudev asked him that, you are doing such great tapasya, you are standing in the sun and praying for half a day. What are you praying for? He said, I am praying to Surya to make me the sarpanch of this village. So he said, why are you praying for that? He said, because the girl whom I am loving will marry only the sarpanch. So I have to become the sarpanch. Then Gurudev understood, everybody's Shraddha is of a different level. Each one is asking for different things. And they are praying to different forms for different aspects. They are not everybody seeking only the highest. So externally certain things can look in a certain way, but the result will be different. Gurudev sitting quietly and contemplating on Brahman is doing such highest level of tapas. He may not be standing in water, he may be sitting on the banks of the Gangaji on a stone, quietly contemplating. And it looks like, okay, simply sitting there. But he is practicing the highest tapas with the greatest Shraddha. Sattvic karma he is doing. And this man standing in the water, cold water, for half a day, is still doing Rajasic karma. Is still having Rajasic Shraddha. So, each one's result will be different. Gurudev contemplating will get a different result. This man praying to Bhagavan to make him the serpent, will get a different result. Now, if somebody says, no, suppose this man doesn't know the scriptural method, but he is still sincerely praying to Bhagwan to be one with Bhagwan, then that is Sattvic Shraddha only. Because he doesn't want anything else, he wants to only surrender. So the result of Sattvic Shraddha will be the same. In the sense, if that person wants that realization, then that will be the same. But just by looking at people and saying that, okay, they are doing with such bhavana, we don't know what is the intent with which they are doing. That intent matters. That faith determines their vision, determines their values, determines their desire, their thoughts, their actions, their result, which further strengthens their faith. That cycle goes on. And that's why the answer that Bhagavan Krishna gives here is, second verse, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Trividha Bhavati Shraddha Dehinam Sa Svabhavaja Satviki Rajasi Chaiva Tamasi Cheti Tam Shrunu. So Bhagavan says, Trividha Bhavati Shraddha. O Arjun, 3 types is the Shraddha of the person. Dehinam, meaning the indweller, the Jiva. That each individuality, their Shraddha may be of 3 types. And it's not that one person is branded as a Sattvic Shraddha for all types. No. All of us can have 3 types of Shraddha. Trividha Bhavati Shraddha Dehinam. And from where is it born? Sa Svabhavaja. Swabhav will affect our Shraddha and our Shraddha will deepen our Swabhav. They will both go hand in hand. One can't say which came first. So, here it says, Dehinam Sa Swabhavaja. It is inherent in their nature. Yes, through Purusharth, of course, one can change it, no doubt, but it is there inherent. By past karmas, one has cultivated. And then one has come here now, and in this one birth, Purusharth is there. So, one can shift from Tamasic to Rajasic to Sattvic and go beyond. But many don't shift, they don't do the Purusharth. But they remain in whatever level they are. So, Bhagavan says, Trividha Bhavati Shraddha Dehinam Sa Svabhavaja Sattviki Rajasi Chaiva Tamasi. Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic is the Shraddha. Cha iti tam shruno. Listen to me about this. Now, these 3 types of faith that Bhagavan will go on to explain. But before that, one very powerful statement he makes is this 3rd verse, where he says, Sattvanurupa sarvasya mayoyam purushaha yo yachraddha sa eva saha. Sattvanurupa sarvasya. So please remember here, the word sattva here does not mean sattva guna. Sattva here means mind or one's nature. Not as Atma, as the Jiva. That Sattvanurupa sarvasya shraddha bhavati bharata. If you read Gurudev's commentary here, he very clearly says, it is very difficult to say whether faith orders the nature or the nature prescribes the faith. Nature means the individual's temperament. Each is intimately wedded to the other. Each obeys the other most faithfully indeed. So, Sattvanurupa sarvasya shraddha bhavati. As per one's nature, if my nature is predominantly sattvic, my shraddha will be sattvic. Prahladji shraddha is sattvic shraddha. Predominantly he was sattvic. Somebody has rajasic shraddha. Ravan had rajasic shraddha. So he is stuck to that. And how much ever he is trying, he is not able to change. And the Dhritarashtra, we may say, has tamasic shraddha. dull, procrastinating, doesn't do his duty, lethargic, lazy. Of course, Rajasic also he has attachment to his own son. Now that nature of that person determines the Shraddha also. And that's why in Gurudev's commentary he goes on to say this. This is in the second paragraph. The Gita declares that it is the nature in an individual that rules his faith. Although if faith can be broken and remolded as it can be sometimes at the irresistible compulsion of painful experiences, the nature of that one does faithfully obey the new Shraddha. So this is what is the Purushartha what we speak about. That sometimes difficulties and tragedies can also strengthen one's Shraddha. What Gurudev also spoke about in the video. But generally speaking, the faith in each man takes the hue and quality of the stuff of his being, the predominating temperament in him. The essence of faith lies in the secret energy of the ego with which it holds fast its convictions and will have to reach a definite chosen end by some well thought out and entirely self-planned means. This is what it is, the Shraddha part. So, when he says here that Sattvanurupa Sarvasya Shraddha Bhavati Bharata, each person's nature determines their faith. Again, I am saying, one has as a human being the capacity to transform the quality of that faith, so that one can change. Now he goes on to explain Shraddha Mayoyam Purushaha. This human being is what his faith is. Shraddha Mayoyam Purushaha Yoya Shraddha Sa Eva Saha. As the faith is, so is that person. It's very interesting. As the faith is, so is that person. And everybody has faith. That's why he's saying Shraddha Mayoyam Purusha. This person is what the faith is, and as the faith is, so is the person. As the person is, so is the faith. They both are going hand in hand. And yes, transformation can happen. There's no doubt, and which is why the study is important. So that we recognize what is my Shraddha, in whom is my Shraddha, what is the quality of my Shraddha, how to improve the quality of my Shraddha, all that. So that is what will come now. But the important point is this, to understand that lot of effort is required to transform this faith from tamasic to rajasic to sattvic. In that, of course, satsang will play a big role, sadhana will play a big role, living in self-control will play a big role, avoiding gossip, backbiting, physical indulgences which are adharmic, or complete sense indulgence where one has got identified too much with the body, mind, intellect, then Shraddha can't transform. For Shraddha to transform, one requires the right environment. Self-control is important, study of the Shastra is important, regular sadhana is important, living in company of devotees, very important, reading the lives of saints and spiritual masters, very important. And you can apply by implication, by an adaptation, you can apply this in any other field also. If I want to become a big, let us say, entrepreneur, then I should read the lives of great entrepreneurs and how they have achieved things and how they started off early and how they took risk and how they learned and all that. Then my Shraddha will increase and I will also get the knowledge and I will also be able to achieve my goal. So you can apply this in sports, in music, art, dance, literature, anywhere. Shraddha is very crucial. And how do I develop that Shraddha and protect that Shraddha? Which is why certain times it is said, keep away from those who are non-believers till your Shraddha becomes strong. Keep away from very highly materialistic and indulgent people who are not ready to accept anything beyond what they see. That's why Naradji says, Dussanga sarvatha eva tyajya. Drop Dussanga completely and don't do gossip, don't talk about the opposite gender, don't waste time in simply sense indulgences, don't strengthen ego and selfish desires. All that he says in Narad Bhakti Sutra. That will strengthen the bhakti and shraddha both. So each person is what their faith is. Now, having said that, one should introspect, where is my faith? See, Hanumanji, till he was serving Sugriv, he was very ordinary. But when he surrendered to Bhagavan Ram, and he said, I am your servant, and I am doing your work, Ram Kaj Kari Beko Vato, then the extraordinary talent manifested. So the altar of our surrender, in whom do I have faith, is also very important. And that's why, actually speaking, Shraddha can only be in Bhagavan, in Sadguru who has realized oneness with Bhagavan, and in the Shastra. They all are one only. They are not different. Shastra is the Vangmaya Rupa Bhagavan. Sadguru is the physical manifestation of Bhagavan to lead the disciple to oneness. And of course, Bhagavan himself or Ishvara. They are only worth our Shraddha. Everywhere else, Vishwas we can have, some trust we can have, and life one can move on with. But Shraddha can be actually only in this. Because that which is infinite, in that if I have Shraddha, then only I will be also able to realize that. Yo yat Shraddha eva saha. If I invest my Shraddha in ordinary perishable things, it will keep changing, it will keep oscillating, I will go up and down with that. But if I invest my Shraddha in the imperishable, then life situations can make me go up and down, but I will still hold on to the infinite. I will not get swayed. And that's why for a spiritual sadhak, Shraddha is most important. Without Shraddha, one can't move ahead. Existence of the goal also is known because of Shraddha. Conviction that that goal can be achieved is because of Shraddha. I can walk the path and reach the goal is because of Shraddha. I have the blessings of the Guru, Shastra, Ishvara, that is because of Shraddha. So, without Shraddha, none of this progress will happen. And that's why Yo Yat Shraddha Saiva Saha. One should ask, do I have the Shraddha like Prahlad ji? Do I have the Shraddha like Mirabai? Do I have the Shraddha like Tulsidas ji? So many great devotees. What level of Shraddha they had? So many Mahatmas. And more difficulties came in their life, more Shraddha they increased. So Yo Yat Shraddha Saeva Saha. In the most difficult times, whom do I remember first? For my source of strength and support, for my solace, whom do I remember? And how intensely do I remember Bhagavan? Then that is my Shraddha. If I remember everyone else and lastly I remember none of them can help, so I remember Bhagavan, then that my Shraddha is very weak. So, Yo Yat Shraddha Saeva Saha. One should ask oneself, did I invest my Shraddha in the imperishable or in the perishable? I can have trust in the perishable, I can have some belief in the perishable. I must have a working relationship with the perishable, no doubt. I can even have a strong, conviction that this person will stand by me. And I can depend on that person also, no doubt. But faith has to be in Bhagavan. Because that is only true abode where that faith can be upheld properly. All sorts of strength, knowledge, peace, happiness is Bhagavan. So now, Having said that, now Bhagavan says, now he said three types of Shraddha which are there. So which Shraddha leads a person to what? Broadly, Bhagavan has given this in this fourth verse. Yajante satvika devan yaksharaksham rajasaha pretan bhutagananschaanye yajante tamasatyanaha. So he says, yajante satvika devan, those who have Shraddha, they will worship us. They will worship the divine forces. Devatas, meaning including Bhagavan as well as the Devatas. So they will have Shraddha that these Devatas exist. What I am offering will go to the Devatas, whether it's a puja or havan or yajna, whatever they are doing, it will reach them. Their blessings come to us. Shastra is saying this. People have experienced this. So they worship with Shraddha. Their Shraddha is Sattvic Shraddha, where they are able to have faith in the Sattvic forces. And in, of course, Bhagavan, Supreme Lord, Ishvara. Yajante Sattvika Devan. This is from a spiritual standpoint. And, if you read Gurudev's commentary here, he says this. Men of Sattvic temperament, because of their serene composure and tranquil disposition, seek their fulfillment at an altar of divinity, indicating the higher impulses and the nobler qualities of their being. This is how the Shraddha and the nature complement each other. Like how we said, that serene composure and tranquil disposition makes them seek the divine. And when they seek the divine, it indicates the higher impulses and nobler qualities of their being. So this is one meaning of this Shraddha, Sattvic Shraddha when we speak about. Then it also means having Shraddha in people who are doing Sattvic work. One is Devatas, Bhagavan, no doubt. Second is seeking such people who are Sattvic in their mind, who are noble, who are kind, who are compassionate, who are selfless, who are contemplative, who are creative, who are innovative, who think. They are not following just the beaten path. To seek such people, to learn from them, to work with them, to make a difference in the society. That is all the impact of the Sattvic Shraddha of the person. Because that Shraddha will push them to seek such people, company of such people. It may be scientists, it may be thinkers, it may be leaders, it may be entrepreneurs, it may be, writers, authors, any of them, who are able to think creatively, who are able to live the higher values of life, make a difference to the people by sharing with them the higher way of living, lifting the standard of the society, standard of life of the society. So that is what this is. Yajante Sattvika Devan. Then he says, Yaksha Rakshamsi Rajasaha. Those who have Rajasic qualities and Rajasic nature, they will worship whom? Yakshas and Rakshasas. Yakshas are what? They are beings higher than human beings and lower than the Devatas and Gandharvas. Kubera is the lord of the Yakshas, treasurer of the Devatas. Yakshas have great powers, different powers, dance, music and all also they are experts in. Meaning what? The people who have Rajasic tendencies, they don't want Bhagavan. They don't want to worship phenomenal forces as an expression of gratitude. They want wealth, power, position, money. So they will worship some Graha, they will worship Kubera, they will worship some, all forms of deities who can bless them with power, position, name, fame, glory, success, all that, money, wealth. Again, please remember, there is no condemnation of this. This is what Bhagavan is saying. The nature of this person is pulling them towards that type of, is pushing them towards that type of altar. And the more their Shraddha expresses in that type of altar, the more their nature also gets strengthened. And which is why he said earlier, when Arjuna asked the question, he didn't reply saying whether they know the scripture or not, if they have bhav, it is enough. No. For the first type of person who is worshipping the devatas, it is because they have got some knowledge. They may not have full knowledge of the scriptures, but they have got some knowledge, whether it is from somebody whom they know or some family member, somebody has given them knowledge about the existence of devatas, existence of Bhagavan, and they are following. That they don't know more is a different matter, but they are following. Eventually they will come to know the scriptural knowledge and they will deepen their sadhana. But because whatever the knowledge they have got, may not have got through parampara, through tradition, through scriptural knowledge, through some guru, shishya, none, they have just got from here and there and they are following. But sattvic, then that is the result they will get. The blessings of the devatas, the sattvic results they will get. No, Swamiji, but what about those people then who are worshipping through scriptural knowledge? They will get better results because karma is a science. And karma kand, if you see, that's why there are so many rules for it. When it is done exactly as per those rules, then the result comes perfect. When it is not done as per those rules, little bit it is done with whatever rules one is told, one is following and they are doing it. Then to that extent one will get that result. Based on karma, I am talking purely right now. If there are situations where one takes examples of absolutely, 100% surrender the devotee has had and has no scriptural knowledge. Even there we say in the past life somewhere some scriptural knowledge would have guided that person. Otherwise full surrender of the ego is not possible. So there will be somewhere some scriptural knowledge which will be there in some form which is guiding this person's Shraddha, sattvic nature to surrender and to do the karma or to do the upasana. And that will lead that person higher. So the sattvic Shraddha will give certain result. Now the rajasic Shraddha will give that person power, position, name, fame, all that. And so they worship such deities. It may be some types of Lakshmi, it may be Kubera, it may be any of these powers or some grahas or some, like it is a Yaksha, Rakshasa, Asura, not Asura, what is that? Gandharva, Kinnara, Siddha, Charana, there are so many. And they will go to some person also and find some mantra and then they will chant, start doing the mantra and then they will get some result will come to them. But what will be that result? Will it be same as sattvic person's result? No, it will not be. It will be as per the rajasic Shraddha, the rajasic result, what they want. Because the Rajoguna in them is wanting those things. They will get those things. Then there are others. Pretan Bhuta Ganans Chanye. There are others who will worship Bhuta, Preta, Pishacha, all the lower powers. Marana Vidya, Vashikarana Vidya, Tona, Totka, all that they will do to hurt and harm others. In that process, they will hurt and harm themselves also. Pretan Bhuta Ganans Chanye. Yajante Tamasa Jana. If their mind is so tamasic, then they will worship all this. And through them they will try to get some power, saying what is going to happen in future, should I invest this money here, should I not do it there, and this person I don't like, I want to hurt this person, I want to harm that person, this enemy of mine should be destroyed. all that types of tamasic things they will do. Now that tamasic shraddha is leading them to those tamasic forces, and the karma that they're doing tamasic will give them tamasic result also, and it will bind them more and more in the cycle of samsara. The rajasic and tamasic will get bound more and more in cycle of samsara. That we saw in 14th chapter also, we saw in 16th chapter also. Sattvic one will slowly get out of the samsara. So naturally the shraddha of that person determines, even in the world, see, it's not only about bhuta, preta, pishacha. There are all kinds of gangsters and people who are there to, torture others. There are enough people who take their support to bulldoze or to bully other people and to exploit them and to extract money out of them or cheat them. All kinds of things with tamasic people they will do. Like how Gurudev has written here, about the Yaksha and Rakshasa, etc. He says here, the men of passionate nature, Rajas, are those who have extreme ambition and are constantly restless in their self-chosen field of activity. The idea here is that the choice of the altar will depend upon the silent demands of the heart of the devotee. As per the heart, I choose the altar and then I am worshipping. One will never go to a bookstall to purchase some dress. So too, the active and the passionate type of men can feel an admiration for and appreciate only an equally active and passionate demigod or a deity. So they will want to worship all these Yaksha, Rakshasa, all of them. Are there not people who say, Ravan was a great man, Duryodhana was a great man, Shakuni was wonderful? Okay, because that's their nature. They'll appreciate only those. And if somebody says, no, Yudhishthira was a great man, very few people will even think that. But actually, Yudhishthira is a very great person. We don't realize the greatness of Yudhishthira. It's not easy to be Yudhishthira. It's very easy to be Duryodhana. It's very, very easy to be Karna. It's very easy to be any of these others. But to be Yudhishthira, to be a Vidur, most difficult. Only two people who are absolutely unattached throughout the entire Mahabharata is Vidur and Krishna Bhagavan. No attachment these two have for anything or anybody. That is the level of Vidurji. How many people admire Vidurji? Because that temperament is not there inside. To admire Vidurji and to learn from him. Bhagavan himself went to his house to stay. And Bhagavan remembered Vidurji. Krishna Bhagavan remembered Vidurji before he dropped his body. Imagine the level of Vidurji. And Vidurji is in tears when he comes to know that Bhagavan remembered me. Before he left for his abode, he remembered me. In Bhagavatam it comes, Maitreya Rishi is there. And Uddhavji is there. Only two people are there with Bhagavan when he leaves. And there he tells Maitreya Rishi that you tell Vidur that I remembered him and tell him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One list he gives. Give this knowledge to Vidur, he tells him. So to appreciate that who is Vidurji, who is Yudhishthira, what level of tapasya they have done and how they have abided, what is their abidance in dharma, requires that level of sattva-guna in us to be able to appreciate, then to imbibe. If we have enough and more rajoguna, then we will worship all these others and we think they are only great. And then tamasic ones. So Gurudev says here that one thing before we go to tamasic one, Gurudev says in this that all men of action, ambitious of success and achievement, would necessarily seek friendship of only brothers of rich men and men of power and strength. So it's not only seeking the Yaksha and Rakshasa and all that type of supernatural beings, but even in the world one will seek men of power position only. When we have that much of Rajoguna in us. And then he comes to tamasic, those who worship the bhuta, preta and all that. There he says, men of low moral caliber and false education generally would try to fulfill their pernicious ambitions with the help of the wretched, vengeful scum of the society, pretas and bhutas, who though physically alive are dead to all the sweetness and goodness in life. These hired gundas, generally chosen from professional jailbirds, are the fit powers to be invoked in order that low and criminal ambitions of the tamasic can be fulfilled. Very powerful words Gurudev has written here. Meaning, there are people who worship Bhuta, Preta, Pishacha, no doubt. And then there are people who worship two kinds of, as I said, mafia, gundas, dons, and they get glorified also and they did some big thing. And people try to present the story from their standpoint that they were victimized and then they became so great. From Dharma standpoint, none of that stands. Each one will get the karma of their karma phala, they will suffer only. No doubt in that. If one has understood that, then one will try to refine one's Shraddha. How to refine that Shraddha? The next part of the chapter will speak about that. You change the ahara, yajna, tapa, dana, all these to sattvic, then your Shraddha will become sattvic. More of that we will take up in our upcoming next class. Now questions which are there, we will take up after the arati is over. So you can raise your hand after the arati and one by one ask the questions. We thank all the yajmans for the entire series, the yajmans for the arati, the yajmans for the daily yajmans as well as the daily arati. May Bhagwan's grace and kripa of Guru Parampara be with everyone, and may Bhagwan help us to develop more and more sattvic shraddha and ultimately realize oneness with the divine. Om Tat Sat.
Om Jai Bhagavati Maya Jai Bhagavati Hariya Kamala Viharini Sundara Sukunite Om Jai Bhagavati Dharma Sumarma Prakashini Kama Sakti Hara Om Jai Bhagavati Nischala Bhakti